Welcome to Modern Musings, conversations with the maiden, mother, and crone, looking at ourselves and the world through the lens of the 21st century. And we are back. Hello, everyone. My name is Amber Garvin, and I'm here with my co-hosts, Cindy Murray and Kristen Hessler.
Hello.
Hey, everyone. So today we're talking about internet hacks.
Woohoo!
So, the
internet hackers.
not
hackers.
hackers, but hacks. So, like the trendiest thing now that all of my students are looking at, and of course I am too. I get the scrollies.
Oh my gosh, don't we all?
And like the latest thing, of course, has been since COVID, of course, TikTok. Everybody's on TikTok except for Cindy.
Nope, I'm not me.
But a lot of people are on TikTok. Not everybody, but a lot of people. How's that?
Yeah, there you
So, but of course, it's the same thing like Instagram Reels or the Reels on Facebook, the Reels on the bus go round. Anyway, so like, the Reels or the TikTok or before that, Pinterest.
Stories on
Facebook,
Instagram.
Yeah, Instagram stories, Facebook stories. Before that, it was, of course, Pinterest fails, YouTube videos, how-to videos, blogs, whatever. We're talking
There's
about.
a ton of them.
Yeah, we're talking about online hacks and like what we have done, what we haven't done, what we want to do. And, I wrote a blog around Christmas and I titled it "TikTok Made Me Do It."
Oh, yeah.
And it was like our episode of, it was our handmade Christmas gifts episode.
Oh, yeah.
And it was a horrible, I saw these little coffee bomb things on TikTok, and I was like, I've got to try this. And it was the first thing that I'd ever like made a recipe from for TikTok. And of course, it was kind of a fail. It wasn't that awesome. I mean, they turned out okay, but it wasn't that awesome. And I know I've talked about this before, but I want to talk about, I guess, like something else that I saw on TikTok, like maybe a year and a half ago, whatever, when I first started watching TikTok. And it was like, it's like called the TikTok shower hack.
Oh.
And like a lot of people probably, they struggle with keeping their shower clean with like all of like the soap buildup,
soap, scum, and mildew.
Everything, mildew.
Yeah.
They struggle with keeping their shower clean. And I saw this video on TikTok on how I can quickly clean my shower. And it was just something that like I had kind of done before, but I didn't really think about it that much. And I always struggle with cleaning my shower before, especially like in the move out from an apartment and it's all this gross stuff. I remember years ago when I moved out of an apartment and like my dad had to like sit in the shower and bleach down all kinds of stuff because it was gross. I remember that vaguely, and my dad like walks out covered in bleach and he's all like, "You're going to start cleaning your shower." I'm never doing that ever again. And that kind of like stuck with me. And I'm like, well, maybe I should clean my shower more often. I know that sounds really gross. This is when I was in college. This is a really long time ago, like 20 years ago, maybe, less than that. But anyway, I saw this hack on TikTok a while back, how to quickly clean your shower. And basically you are taking your shower and you clean your shower while you are taking a shower.
I know a lot of people who do that.
Yeah, and
you clean your dishes while you cook.
Yeah, that's exactly like the same concept. You get one of those dishes scrubbers that you put like the Dawn soap inside of.
Yeah.
And you put 1/3 vinegar and 2/3 Dawn. And you keep that in the shower, and like, towards the end of your shower, you just kind of wipe down the walls, scrub everything down. And you do
safe.
it. At
for
least
your body too.
Yeah.
Well, the vinegar is not safe for marble or cultured marble surfaces, though. You cannot use that on those.
Well, I mean,
Yeah,
I live in
but
an apartment.
If you live in an
so-
apartment, if you got tile,
Yeah.
what, or one of those surround plastic
Mhm.
surrounds, that are in the shower inserts, that it's probably fine for that. But because vinegar is an acid, it will
Mhm.
destroy your it'll pit your marble. But I don't doubt that it works, because vinegar is a
Mhm.
great cleaner.
Oh
for a
yeah,
lot
I
of
love it
things.
for everything. So I've been doing that for like a year, and my shower is not gross for the first time
Mhm.
ever.
Nice.
Like I do it like at least once a week. I
Mhm.
scrub down the shower, and as I get out of the shower, I pull up the mat that's in the bottom of my tub and I scrub it down. And it's been working for me. I've been keeping the cat hair out of the shower. It hasn't been clogging the drain as much. I
Mhm.
haven't had to use, and I do the same thing like with my sink. Like every day after I put makeup on and brush my teeth, I just kind of get like a handful of soap and scrub down and rinse out my sink. And that's like one of the things that I'm pretty bad about, like just putting my makeup on, getting it everywhere, and just leaving it until it builds up and builds up. And when I finally like clean it once a month, it's like the grossest thing ever.
Ugh, I can't stand that.
Yeah. So, and it's, something that like my mom did also growing up. She'd just leave her makeup, and then eventually it would look like makeup sink. And then when it was time to clean the house, the monthly house cleaning, it would be just like scraping all of that gross stuff off. So I've been trying to clean along like with the dishes, the bathroom as well, and it's been working.
Well, and like I said, I've actually been intrigued by this and was concerned, because I know a lot of people who do it. And like I said, I can't use the vinegar because I have the cultured marble. But the Dawn dish soap is safe for your cultured marble. In fact, that's what the manufacturer recommended. And you can also use Lysol, so you could clean it with Lysol. And really, if you're keeping it clean and you keep it dry, then you're not going to get the milk. If you're keeping it clean with like the Dawn and getting the soap scum off,
and then wiping it down a little bit afterwards.
Wiping it down and dry. I have a squeegee, and you dry it. Then you're going to be less likely to get the mildew buildup anyway. And if you're doing it every time, there you go. And that because the cleaning the shower is like the bane of my existence.
Yeah,
of the
I
bathroom.
hate it. Like
I
the
don't-
bathroom in general, I hate.
Well, I
cleaning
hate the
it.
bathroom, but the toilet you can reach. You can use a wand and you can
use
clean
that,
it.
yeah.
You can reach it. The sink. I wipe the sink down on a regular
But
basis.
the tub, you have
It's
to
the
like
tub. You
bend
can't reach
over
across. You
and-
have to
yeah.
basically get
in
in the
it.
tub to
Yeah.
do it. So doing it while you shower makes a lot of sense. And I used to have those little things that hang in the shower that clean, but they just leave a residue.
Yeah.
So I like that idea. I'm going to give that one a try. I give that one a thumbs up there.
Yeah, that's
sounds
like
like a
the
good
one
one.
TikTok hack that I like found that I'm definitely going to try this, and it's been working
Mm-hmm.
really well for me. I get kind of lost in like the cleaning talk videos on how I can better organize and clean my house, and that was definitely one of them that really struck me. Another one is I like to wash. I like to watch like this one guy's videos, and I couldn't even tell you the name. I'll have to go and look. But he takes apart washing machines and cleans them out for a
they're
living.
gross too.
Like
and dishwashers.
dirty jobs type
Ugh.
guy, you know what I mean?
Ugh.
And he like recommends this one tablet thing that really helps cleaning out your dishwasher. And I have it in my Amazon cart that I've been wanting to buy for like ever and try out. And I may buy this and write my blog about it. But it's called just like active washing machine cleaner and descaler,
Mhm.
and he swears up and
I
down
need
by
that.
this.
Oh my gosh.
Well,
Our
Yeah.
there's
dishwasher
several
looks
brands. I
nasty.
mean,
It's,
Tide
like,
makes one
white.
of those, and
But
there's
yeah,
some
it's
different
like
ones.
active brand. But yeah, there
Yeah.
are different brands out there. But
Yeah.
he swears up
But
and
by that
down
particular
by this
one.
particular brand, and I've had it in my cart forever.
Yeah. And you haven't
And
done it.
I'm just gonna click buy and write my blog about
There
this
you go.
after I use it.
Well, I have, I didn't really think that because, well, for first off, like I said, I don't do TikTok. I do Facebook, or I used to do Facebook, and I do Instagram, and I love Pinterest, but I don't do TikTok. But now there's videos on all three of those formats, so there's all kinds of little things. I find that most of the things that I have tried are either recipes. I've tried a few of those, and I've tried a lot of craft things. So I've only had a few fails. I did there's a couple of fails that we did. One of them we did for Kristen's wedding, and it was a backdrop thing that you make out of PVC pipe.
I remember that. And
Yes,
then
from the
y'all
wedding.
even left the PVC pipe at home, and
Oh, yes.
Mark had
and
to bring
Mark
it.
had to go home. Yeah, so we live like 45 minutes, an hour away from the venue.
Yeah.
And we got there and realized we didn't have this PVC thing that he had made per the instructions on Pinterest, right? And it looked in theory like it would work, right? So we made this thing. We didn't really test it out, but we made all these little tulle and ribbon things to hang on it to make this backdrop. And so we get to the wedding venue and realize we've left it at home. And so Mark had to drive, an hour there and an hour back to go get it. So we were short one person setting things up also. So that made it a major fail right there.
Right, like
But-
2 hours of
But then
one
we
less
get
person.
home get back to the venue with it, and we set the darn thing up, and we're looking at this. It's supposed to go behind the cake table, right? To give it this really pretty little thing. And the whole idea originally was to have it behind the cake table and have this chandelier that we made hanging over it, the whole 9 yards. And that's a whole nother.
I was about to say the chandelier,
Chandelier was
from
also a-
completely different.
That was another
area.
taste thing. Yeah, but when we got there, we couldn't hang the chandelier where we wanted. But anyway, so we set this little thing up, and my husband takes one look at it. He said, "That's going to fall right on the cake." It was not stable enough. If anybody touched it, it just started wobbling like it was going to fall. And so we wound up not even using it at all. It was a good idea, but the way that it was designed, it wasn't stable, and so
When I think
it was
the
very
feet
scary.
on it were so big that it had to be really
Yeah, it
far
had to be
away
really
from the
fall out, and
wall.
somebody would
Yeah.
have to trip on it, or
Yeah.
something. So it was a fail, totally a fail. That was the one big fail, the big fail from the wedding. And we had some little minor things that didn't quite work out the way we thought they would, but they were pretty minor. I had a Halloween hack that failed that I thought was going to be a great idea. It looked really cute. So they took empty toilet paper rolls and they cut 2 holes out of the length of it so that they were like eyes. And you take those glow-in-the-dark sticks and you put them inside of it and hide it in your bushes. And what it looks like, in theory, is glowing eyes sticking out of your bushes. No, not really.
No.
What it looks like
A
is,
bunch of trash in your yard. No.
yeah, it looks like this toilet paper roll with a hole cut out, and you can see the little tube of stuff in there. So it really didn't glow and fill the hole with the glowing eye thing. So, and that may have been, I don't know, the directions were not really specific about what size to cut the holes. So maybe they're supposed to be little small holes. I don't know. But it did not, the eyes were not glowing. It just looked like there was a stick inside of the toilet paper roll. And the other one that I did that failed, and that was entirely my fault. I saw this cute card that I wanted to make for Christmas, and it looked like a front door. So it was white, and it had layers to look like an oak door or whatever, with the quadrants sticking out and cut out, like beveled and stuff like that. And then it had this cute little wreath hanging on it, and doorknob, and a mail slot. And I will link it on the Heard It on the Podcast, because it is a really cute card. But I bought all the stuff for it, got set to make it, and realized that all of their instructions were for foreign-sized cards, not for an A2 size card. It was for whatever card they use in Europe, and all of the measurements were for that card size.
Yeah.
That's not what card size of paper I bought. I bought paper as if it was for American standard size, and it wasn't completely a fail. Like I said, this was entirely my fault, but I had to sit and do all the math to figure out how to convert that cute card into the size of a traditional American size card. So that one did not work. But I have had a lot of things that were very successful, including a lot of the things that we did at Kristen's wedding, entirely from Pinterest. And several recipes that I have done off of Facebook or Pinterest that turned out really, really well.
Well, like I made a cake from Facebook for Jason for his birthday.
Oh,
that
I remember
black
that.
cake.
Yes.
Cake,
Yeah, and it turned out really well, to the point where I'm like, I'm going to make this lumberjack cake that I have saved from Facebook that now I haven't made it yet, but it's in the back of my mind. Like, I'm going to try this lumberjack cake.
So we have...
Go ahead.
We have a recipe that Travis found. We call them TikTok enchiladas, but they're called lazy enchiladas. This woman shared her method for lazy enchiladas, and they really are kind of a lazy way to make enchiladas, because when you make enchiladas, you got to like wet the tortilla in the sauce and then roll it up with the meat you've already prepared, whether it's like rotisserie chicken or boiled or whatever, or ground beef,
meat,
or seasoned.
Yeah.
And then you put the sauce on it and the cheese, and you bake it or whatever. So it's very time consuming. And if you're making your own tortillas, God, could you even imagine?
Right?
But this recipe, he was like, I want to make this. And I was like, oh, gross. That just sounds like gross, I love like fresh food, and so I'm always encouraging him to like, make the enchilada. But I was like, okay, I'll let you try these. And it's basically like those frozen taquitos. And pop them in a oven dish, and then you get the big can of enchilada sauce, and you pour that over it, and then you put the cheese on it, however much cheese you want, and then you pop it in the oven for however long it takes to bake the taquitos, basically. And the taquitos like absorb the sauce, and it softens the enchiladas. If someone had served those to me, I would not have known that they were frozen taquitos. I would have thought they were
That's
homemade.
Probably how they do them at the restaurant.
It probably
not
dang.
the real, not like a really authentic Mexican restaurant,
Right.
but like
when I worked at the
Chuy's
restaurant,
or
we made the enchiladas, and they were just in a pan, like they were wrapped. They weren't dipped in sauce, or
right.
anything like that. It was just a bunch of.
But
and
if
they
you
were
look at
cold.
like a Casa Olé or El Chico or a Chuy's or any of those chain Mexican food
they
restaurants,
probably do.
they're like frozen enchiladas, and they
Yeah. Because when
It's
I worked in the
basically what they
restaurant,
are.
ours they weren't frozen, but they were refrigerated, and they were
right.
on a big pan, and they would just take.
But
out
you're not a chain where everything has.
No.
But when you're talking a chain, all that stuff is made.
But
elsewhere.
they really tasted like on the border style enchiladas or whatever.
Mhm.
They were so good though, and we make those all the time now. That was
Yeah,
probably,
you're gonna have to send me that recipe.
girl,
Right?
It's so you
Ugh.
literally, it's not even a recipe really. It's just buy the box of taquitos, get the big can of sauce that's like 28 ounces.
Yeah,
And we've tried it with chicken taquitos. We've tried it with like the beef ones. We've tried different brands. We've tried all the different sauces. Her video has the green.
Oh, yeah.
Which is the first one we did was the chicken taquitos with the
The
green sauce.
Uh-huh.
And then we've branched out and we've tried like the red sauce and I mean, man, you could go all different kinds of ways with it, but they're so good. They're now I want to eat that for dinner.
Yeah. Well, I had a really great one too. It's kind of a famous Facebook recipe, and that is the Mississippi pot roast. And if you mention that, I think everybody's seen that recipe come around,
Mhm.
and it's basically a crock pot roast. I'm trying to remember off the top of my head. I will link to a recipe when I find it. But it's the pot roast, and I think you use a brown gravy mix and an au jus mix. And maybe a ranch dressing mix. I can't remember. And then it's got those little pepperoncini peppers on top of it and butter and a stick of butter. And you stick it in and crock pot it. And that is the most delicious pot roast. That's my go-to pot roast now. It is so good. We did another one. Kristen and I used to do a little crafters thing called Dallas Crafters Marathon that we went to about once a month, and they decided to start doing some themes. They did a Pinterest themed crop that we went to where everybody was supposed to bring a dish that they saw on Pinterest to try those things out, because we're all always saving all these ideas, but we're not necessarily doing them, And one of the things that we made was a pizza dip that was really good. It was like a layered pizza dip, and it had cream cheese and pizza sauce and pepperonis on top, and that
Yum.
was to die for. It was really, really good.
now I used to make through because I have all these recipes on my Pinterest as well, and I used to make through my Pinterest, especially when I lived with my mom and grandma. I have a whole Pinterest board actually that I call "Made These and They Were Good."
Ah.
Yeah, and especially when I was cooking for my mom and grandma, I would make a Pinterest meal a week. And now I've kind of dimmed down on it. I made the Facebook cake or whatever for Jason, but I don't know, before Pinterest. Well, around the same time probably. But for years and years, my grandma used to get Family Circle magazine.
Oh, yeah.
And I had one thing that I made from a magazine that failed horribly.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and it was Family Circle one year, and I couldn't even tell you the year that it was made, but I can link on the Heard It on the podcast the link from Pinterest, because I did save that recipe on Pinterest. But it was their cover thing, Halloween issue, and it was a pumpkin M&M cake.
Ooh, yum.
And I was like, I'm going to try to make that. And, I got all my stuff. I got all the ingredients, everything like that. Or at least as close as I could to get. And I was trying to figure out, okay, how did they make, because they didn't really say, what pan I needed on the magazine recipe. And I was trying to figure out the shape, and I couldn't really find anything. So I just kind of got a round-ish shape pan
Uh-huh.
to where the pumpkin didn't turn out round like it was supposed to, because you're supposed to do two different ones or two different pans to make of a roundy type pan, like a bowl even, for the pumpkin to turn out round.
I wonder
And
if it
this
was
was-
like a bunt pan.
Maybe. But this was before they started making all of those weird shaped pans like Wilton and stuff like that.
Oh, yeah.
Nowadays you can get the shape of almost anything
Anything,
to
yeah.
turn it into a cake. This is before And I didn't like really like go to Michael's or anything like that. I just went to Walmart and bought what I could find. And so I was doomed from the start because I didn't get the right shape pan. And then like when I was buying the ingredients, you're supposed to get like all orange M&Ms, right, to make it the pumpkin color. I just got a bag, I just got a big bag of M&Ms because I'm like, well, man, I don't want to get 1,000 bags of M&Ms just to pick out the orange ones. Nowadays, you can go to
order,
Party City or
whatever, order them,
order like all one color of M&Ms. But, I was like I was a college student. I was looking for like a quick pick to practice my baking. And I'm just like, I'm not going to do that. Anyway, so it was doomed from the start because I deliberately didn't buy the right ingredients. But I bought the right as far as making the cake and and everything like that. But I bought like all of the stuff to make the pumpkin cake from scratch. Pumpkin cake from scratch. I'd never made it before. And it turned out like pretty good. Like I had the wrong pan, so it was the wrong shape. And I covered it in the cream cheese icing that I made from scratch. First time I'd ever made from scratch. And I covered it all together. And then, like, I'm putting the M&Ms on, and I'm like, this doesn't look right because I'm supposed to make it have the black M&Ms to make it look like a jack-o'-lantern and everything like that. So what I ended up doing was just doing the white icing. I was not even lazy enough to turn it into an orange icing. So it was a white pumpkin with like colorful jack-o'-lantern. And I'm just like looking at it, and I had made like a weird face on it, and I'm looking at it and I'm like, well, that is a fail. But the cake turned out really well. Yeah. I took it to Vernon, and my mom and grandma ate the crap out of that cake. So the cake turned out good. The decorating, not so much. It looked like a little kid decorated the cake. And I'll link that on the Heard It on the podcast. So what about you, Kristen? What are some hacks that you've tried or failed at or succeeded as?
I don't really do that.
You sound like Raina. I don't do that.
I don't do that. I really don't. Like, I don't know. I'm not a directions follower anyways.
You're not. She's not.
I'm not a recipe follower either. So even if I saw a recipe, I'm just like, I don't do that. But I will tell you one that was a fail, and this is why I don't do them. Because people are horrible at giving directions.
Yes.
And I think a lot of those videos on TikTok are fake. And this one is, and you can all try it at home and you will trust me that it's fake. Because it's impossible. Have you seen the video where they put a skillet on the stove and then they put some oil in the skillet and then they put some popcorn kernels in it and then they put some Skittles in it? And then they pop popcorn, and then they take the lid off, and it's all these different colors of
God, that's not going to happen.
Multicolored popcorn. No, that does not happen. That is a bold lie. I did that because I love candy popcorn. Love it. And I thought, oh my gosh, Skittles have like lemon or,
all the different flavors and the different
and,
color. It'll be really cute.
Because usually when you make candy popcorn, it's just one flavor. Well, and when you go buy candy popcorn at the popcorn shop, it's always like flavorless. It's just sweet.
Yeah.
It's not like each color has its own flavor. Well, I go in there. I'm like literally, I was sitting in bed in my pajamas scrolling, and then I was like, I'm going to get up and make this. I go in there. My husband is like asleep. I think he fell asleep watching TV, right? And I turned the stove on, put my popcorn in there. And we had like little snack packs of Skittles. And I didn't do like a whole giant patch of popcorn. I just wanted to test it out. And put it on the stove, put the Skittles in there. It immediately started smoking, right?
Well, yeah, because the sugar's just going to melt and crystallize.
Yeah, and then it turned into the ugliest brownish gray color in the world.
Oh, yeah.
And then my smoke alarm went off, and it was terrible tasting. It burnt.
Right.
before the popcorn even finished.
Yeah,
cooking.
because you got to heat it up and then put the popcorn in and get the popcorn popping.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but in
And
the
maybe
video, it
add
was
the
all,
candy
like,
at the
one time.
last minute, maybe. I don't know. But either way, you have to keep it stirring or something. I don't know,
Well,
because how is that
The
going to...
colors would all mix
They all run together,
if you
yeah.
stirred them, because that's what
Yeah.
happens when you mix paint together.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
I don't know. Yeah.
it's a lie. It sounds delicious. I imagine if you melted the Skittles individually
And then
you-
poured it over it.
and separated the popcorn into little batches and then poured,
Yeah.
you know, the
And then
little
mix it all
batches,
back together.
let it harden, and then mix it together. But you can't mix candies while it's still wet.
Yeah, because the
without-
colors will just run together.
Yeah. So that
And it
was
turns
that
into
was
mud.
my fail, and that's
Yeah.
why I don't do a lot of those, because they omit things.
Critical steps, or they
And
don't...
probably
Well,
not
yeah.
even realizing that they're omitting
Like the
them.
coffee bomb thing, why it was such a fail over Christmas. They omitted some steps.
Yeah.
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 And a lot of those people that are making those videos have done this thing so many times. Like when you're talking about like a crafter or a creator, chef,
They assume
baker.
that you know.
Well, and they're doing something, and you might get inspired to like make a cake, you know, but you
Yeah.
don't have the tools. But so they didn't say like what size pan to use. Like that's
Exactly,
a critical
yeah.
step.
Yeah.
Or that you needed to buy how many M&Ms, you know, would that cost you to get all orange ones? Or-
Right.
Yeah, and I was a poor college student, so
Right,
I
Yeah.
did what I could with it.
Now,
Right.
there are some of those hacks, though, that actually do work. Like I said, the two dishes that I did, the pot roast and the pizza dip, worked really well. Another one that I found on, I can't remember if it was Pinterest or Facebook, was how to boil eggs, perfect boiled eggs.
Oh,
And
yeah, those are perfect boiled eggs. Yeah.
the deal is that you put a certain amount of baking soda in the water while it's when you boil the water, and then you have an ice bath ready for the eggs. As soon as they come off of the stove, dunk them in that ice water so that they immediately stop cooking. And then when they're cooled, the eggs are cooled, you can just run them underwater and get that shell just slides off of it. And it's an amazing trick to boil eggs. And I saw that on, like I said, Pinterest or Facebook. I'm not sure where. But it absolutely does work. And there are other things that we've done on Pinterest where they weren't necessarily instructions on how to do it, but we figured out how to do it and imitated something that was on Facebook, like a lot of the stuff that Kristen and I did for her wedding, which we need to do a podcast about wedding stuff. We need to do that after.
Yeah,
I
we
think
really
so.
do. Like wedding planning.
Yeah,
and
but-
do's and don'ts.
Yeah, we did a whole bunch of stuff off there. Her bouquets were inspired by Pinterest. We repurposed an old chandelier. It's completely different than the chandelier, the $15 chandelier that my son-in-law bought at off of Facebook Marketplace or whatever. But we used stuff that we saw on Facebook or Pinterest on how to redo this chandelier, and it's hanging in my dining room right now. We did a bunch of the table decorations. Those were all inspired by Facebook. Our invitations, the cake topper, all of those things were Kristen made the cake toppers. So,
yeah. I guess I kind of did copy something I
yes,
saw
you
off
did.
of Pinterest.
Yeah, it was a little log rounds, and she burned Mr. and Mrs. into it, and they were on little sticks, and that was the little cake topper, and it was really cute, and it worked great. And we did a lot of little things like that worked really, really good. The bouquets, this was the first time I'd ever done any kind of floral arranging or anything like that. And we were inspired by Pinterest bouquets. They were fake flower and brooches, like rhinestone brooches. And I just watched I searched Pinterest till I found somebody showing how they did it, and I did it, and I thought they turned out quite lovely. So I'll share some pictures of those too. But yeah, that, we did all of those things, and that they worked really well. But I'm an experienced crafter. If someone was not an experienced crafter, those things do not have instructions on how they did those things. And they're most of the time, and that, they did not necessarily know how to do that. And I could see where those things would turn out not so great. And we actually had some issues with the invitations as well, because we kept seeing all these invitations. They're kind of lacy looking invitations, and it looks like a little doily folded over for the outside cover of the invitation, and that was what we wanted. And we decided we could cut it. All of the ones that we saw that were on Pinterest were actually advertisements for people who was selling them. And manufacturers, would post them on there, or people would copy them off of manufacturers' websites. And we were going to make our own. And so we played around with the silhouette to die cut, to cut them ourselves, and discovered that it was impossible pretty much to get something that intricate on a commercially available machine. So we decided to go with a die that you crank through your Big Shot instead. And so it was almost a fail. It wasn't a fail, but it was a hard adaptation that we had to make in order to do it, because there wasn't any instructions on how to do it. But I think overall we did some things that were really cute, and I think it did well. And I do think we need to do a podcast, maybe when Amber's done planning her wedding. We can get together and kind of compare notes about the different things that worked and didn't work. I think that would be a very interesting.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Since I've been doing a lot of home organization stuff, I've been watching videos. There's a lot of this thing called home edit, where you're decanting your food and putting them in these really high-end food canisters, so that your pantry looks nice. And same thing with the acrylic. Yeah. The acrylic bins and organization supplies are really popular right now. But a lot of the people who promote home organization and teach those skills for people who are decluttering for the first time, like Cass at Clutterbug, she talks about starting off with Dollar Tree organization first, because you're gonna have cheaper. It's a lot of hit or miss, and you're gonna upgrade and you're learning. Over time.
You learn,
learn and organize and get yourself into the habit of putting things away where they belong, and then upgrade to the more fancy organization.
You have
baskets.
To figure out what you need before,
right? Yeah. And one of the things that I really like are those turntables, but they're kind of expensive. They can range anywhere
Lazy
from
Susans,
like Lazy Susans, and they can range anywhere from $10 to $25. I mean, depending on the size and what the material is made out of. The acrylic ones are running about $15, I think, right now for halfway decent ones.
I bought some at 99-cent store.
Right. Well, and that's what I was about to say. So there's some hacks. If you can find the turntables at 99-cent store or Dollar Tree, places like that, those are good. But you can also use, and I kind of want to try this one out just to test out if I want a turntable. You get those 8-inch or 9-inch round pie pans, the metal ones. That are completely flat. You get 2 of those, and you put marbles in the bottom one, and then you stick the other one on top, and it rolls.
Oh,
interesting.
Yeah, so I actually want to try that, because I thought that it might be neat to put my paints and stuff on a turntable in my craft room, because I have cubes. And that'll still give it kind of an industrial look too.
Right.
So, and then I'll decide if I want to buy
More of
like
them, yeah.
acrylic turntables or something. Or if I decide I don't want it, I just scrap the whole thing altogether. I got marbles and pie pans.
Yeah. Well, I have a lot of like I said, the last one I bought, I think I got it at the 99-cent store, but I think you can get them at Walmart pretty cheaply too. I have some double decker ones that I use for my spices in my spice rack, and then I have a little small one here on my craft table that my craft supplies sit on, and it spins around. But yeah, those are a great little hack. Anytime I see people using those for something, I'm like, yep, that's a good hack right there. And I like those cleaning videos too. And going back to that clutter bug, we do have. Was it last fall that we did that, or maybe last spring? Last spring,
Yes.
that we did that, and we can link that clutterbug video on here, because there was some interesting stuff about that. But she has a lot of good hacks that I see pop up all the time on Facebook and Instagram and stuff like that.
Did you guys ever watch those 5-minute hack videos that are always on Facebook? Have you ever tried any of those?
Is that the ones where they have like all kinds of different things?
Yeah, like they'll use like a empty water bottle to do like something.
You're using these products the wrong way, which it's not really.
There's those, and then there's ones. Yeah, there's
some of them are dumb.
Some of them, it's like, wow,
It's
you
like
went through a lot of work just to make like.
Yeah, well, it's like. Well, like I look at some of those because it's like you're using these products the wrong way, and the first one they do is they peel the foil lid off of the yogurt and they shape it into a spoon and use it as a spoon. It wasn't designed to be used as a spoon, therefore you're not using it the wrong way.
Right.
It's just hey, did you know you could do this if you forgot your spoon?
Yeah, in a pinch.
So. Yeah. Some of them are good. Some of them are, no, that doesn't really work.
I think sometimes the time spent making the altered object takes more time than it would be to just.
Now, I will say one of those hacks that I just forgot. I forgot about that one. I don't know where I saw it, but it was a hack that they used what we commonly call a bulldog clip. Or a binder clip that it's usually like the piece of black metal with two prongs sticking off of it. You squeeze the prongs and it opens up and you stuff your paper.
AKA a chip clip at my house.
Oh, a chip clip. Yeah, that works too. But I saw a thing where they clipped it to the back of your desk on the back by the wall.
To hold the cables?
To hold your cables. And I have done that and it works really, really well because you can get the cables through there if you work at it. But then if you have to turn the connector a certain direction to get it through there. And then once you turn it back the other way, it won't fall through. So you can unplug your laptop and it won't like slide back behind your desk or whatever. I love that idea.
I want something by my bed so that my phone cable doesn't fall down, because my bed's so high off the floor that I can't reach. If my phone cable slips down.
Command strips.
Yeah.
Command hooks. Yes, that's what I have.
Yeah.
I have a command hook on the wall right by my headboard and my.
Oh, that's what I should do. I should just like kind of make.
I also have one that my CPAP mask hangs on, like right behind my headboard.
Yeah,
so you can't see it.
I want it hidden so you can't see it.
Yeah,
because I don't want like a big old. Like,
I think that was. I think that was a hack that I saw or read about in my CPAP Facebook group. So, and then I was like, oh, and you can do your phone on one too, yeah, or your phone cable. So, yeah, there's lots of little things like that. That's kind of cool. I'm trying to think what else I did a 1 year for Easter. I saw this cute little thing. I like finding fun little napkin folds or whatever for the holidays when I'm doing a nice table with the china. And 1 year for Easter, I found this cute on Facebook, this cute little bunny rabbit napkin fold. You could do it with a cloth napkin or you could do it with a paper napkin. I did it with both. And it makes this cute little bunny head with ears sticking up. And that turned out, it was a lot easier than I thought it was going to be, and it was very, very cute.
I remember those. Those were
Yeah, that was cute. Well, does anybody else have anything they want to talk about?
I can't think of any
I-
at the moment.
There's probably a gazillion of
Oh,
them.
sure, yeah.
And
Right.
and I don't know what I'm going to try. I'll probably have to, for my blog, go find something to try also, because there's several things on there I've been wanting to try and I haven't. So
Well, take that chance and
Yeah.
try it out.
yeah,
Maybe I'll either do the washing machine hack thing, or maybe finally do that buffalo cake I've been wanting to do.
I'm thinking cake is what I'm thinking. I want to try. I've seen some really cool, or cake or recipe of some sort. I've seen some really cool hack recipes that I think would be really fun to do.
Okay.
So, but I hope this will encourage some of our listeners to go give it a try too.
Try
find
some
something,
kind of hack, yeah.
and let us know how it worked.
Yeah.
So, what are we talking about next week?
Next week, we're talking about new moon intentions.
Ooh.
Oh, interesting.
So,
Okay.
kind of like along with the goals girl, but also a little, woo-woo.
A little meta woo woo. Yeah. I like it. I like it.
Well, to wrap up, we want to thank Red Door Studios and Creative Audio Tech for our equipment and our music. And we want to thank our listeners. Give us a like, give us a share, give us a comment. Check out our blog, because you're only getting half the story when you are listening to our podcast. Go read the blogs, because we each put one out every week. Check us out.
Yes.
Oh, yeah, and check out our Facebook group, MMC Chat, while you're at it.
Oh yeah. And we've probably all got like TikTok and Facebook and
Yeah, check out our TikTok, check out our Facebook,
Instagram.
check out our Instagram. Check
Yeah.
us out everywhere on social media. We're around, and we love our listeners. Okay.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.